We are on jury watch in Chula Vista, California, where the Larry Millete murder trial has finally come to an end. And I say finally, it was 25 days of testimony, but based on the court schedule, this stretched out for almost 2 months because they were doing 4-day work weeks and they were doing half days. Like it took a really long time to get here. Yesterday was the final day in court. The defense did their closing argument, which I'm going to go through in a second. And then the prosecution had a chance to do a rebuttal before it went to the jury. Now, I talked about jury instructions in the previous video. They have 4 options here: first-degree murder, second-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter, or involuntary manslaughter. Now, as a reminder, if you haven't been watching all along, Maya's body was never found. So this is a very tricky one. I think we all have understood that through the 30 plus videos that I've made, I'm not a big fan of Larry Millete, and I do hope that he is found guilty. And I do believe he's gotten a very fair trial. His defense attorney did a very solid closing argument yesterday. At least that's what I'm getting. This is a closed courtroom, so we have to rely on the reporting coming out every night after court ends. So the attorney who did the closing was Leanne Sabatini. And just a quick flashback. This is the second round of attorneys that Larry has had. The first one lasted, I think, for like 2 years. This thing's been delayed so many times. And then a new set of attorneys had to come in, and that caused another delay because this group had to get up to speed. A lot of circumstantial evidence here, right? And some of it's hard to defend. Some of it's hard to explain. Larry's behaviors were pretty weird. And so, she did the best she could to defend him. But this is portions of her closing argument. She first says that prosecution has not met their burden of guilty beyond reasonable doubt. That there are, for all of this weird behavior, there are some innocent explanations, right? This is a quote: Larry experienced heartbreak and betrayal while he's being gaslit. That's going to send him into a tailspin. Any normal human being is going to deteriorate when their heart is involved. She goes on to say that Larry had no support from friends and family, and that he turned to online spellcasters who perhaps even exploited him. Not sure I buy that part. But anyway, he's pouring his heart out, and they are validating him, saying, yes, we may need a stronger spell. Larry is no murder mastermind. She kind of said, how is it possible to plan the perfect crime, but then leave behind a murder weapon for the police to find months later? And of course, she's referring to the vial of hemlock that they didn't find until 9 months after Maya went missing. She claims that Larry was cooperative during the investigation. In the beginning, he was very open about letting them search the home. He did 25 separate interviews with the police. He remained calm. She said there was never once where, even when Larry found Maya and Jamie Laird, her affair partner, sitting in a truck in a parking lot, he didn't raise his voice. He didn't curse at her. He didn't show any emotion. He remained very calm. That explains his behavior after the fact, because Larry wasn't loud. He didn't scream. He didn't yell. He didn't curse at Maya. He was always a very calm individual. So that's how they rationalize his behavior after she went missing. The assistant district attorney, Christy Bowles, has a chance to do a rebuttal. According to reporters, Bowles gets up. She stumbles a little in the beginning. It took her a minute to find her stride, but she basically goes through these points. I'm going to repeat them for you here. Larry is the only one with motive and opportunity. He expressed the intent to hurt her. He is seen on video repositioning his car at 6 a.m. that morning. His whereabouts is unknown for hours. He turned off his phone all day long. He gave conflicting stories about his whereabouts. He deleted messages, searches, and location history. He asked to get his SUV detailed to fix some mystery scratches that he had gotten. He had his car washed multiple times after Maya vanished, and I put this in an earlier video, but according to his financial records, he washed his car 7 times in 2 weeks. That's every other day. He searched online for ways to kill somebody. He had poison in his possession after months of thorough research about that exact poison. She said, and this is a quote, "He's either the unluckiest person in the world or he's guilty of murder." Maya Millete found her voice, finally, and then he silenced it. So that is how this wraps up. The jury began deliberating yesterday as of 3 p.m. local time, which is Pacific time. Today is their first full day back in deliberation. I suspect this is going to be a while because there's over 1,000 different exhibits for them to go through. So if they really want to kind of go back through a lot of stuff, this could take a while. It's a court that traditionally has Fridays off. They don't come out with a decision today. I kind of feel like they'll get a 3-day weekend and he's going to ask him to come back on Monday. This judge doesn't seem to be the type of judge that'll go, get back in there. Let's stay the weekend. We'll order you some lunch. Let's get this done. He just doesn't push the speed like a lot of other judges do. So this could be a while, but I'll keep checking back in as I hear more.